Hey there, all you ACC fans. Mike Crook with Free Sports Press coming at you for our Week 4 ACC predictions. First, a quick recap on Week 3. We did post a 9-1 record, our lone loss being the Florida State-Oklahoma game, where we did have the Seminoles picked to beat the Sooners. Unfortunately, things didn't come up for us on that game, but it was a great game that the Seminoles can be proud of and can take a lot of things away from coming into this weekend's contest against Clemson. Now to kick off our Week 4 predictions, they'll actually start tonight as the Wolfpack will visit the Bearcats of Cincinnati in a Thursday night contest. I don't see NC State being able to win this one as the Bearcats' attack will be just too much for Tom O'Brien's team, and the Bearcats will come away with a late 34-30 victory. Now to kick off this weekend's games, a lot of those are going to be out-of-conference contests. No marquee opponents like last week, minus maybe like a K-State who's not really that great this year, not ranked, but what are you going to do? You got to have an off week. You can't have it every weekend be a superstar weekend. So our first contest of the game is going to be UNC and Georgia Tech. This is actually a Coastal Division matchup, and it could be a really big stepping stone for the winner of this game. They'll have great control over the Coastal Division, with the only team that can really contest them being Virginia Tech, who's having an off year thus far. They're not posting the numbers that they usually do. But I've got Georgia Tech winning this one handily, 37-21. I just don't see the Tar Heels being able to handle Georgia Tech's option attack. First out-of-conference game is going to be Maryland and Temple. This is going to be a great game for Maryland to bounce back of after the West Virginia game, which was a very close game. Could have won it, but things just didn't bounce the way they could have and should have for the Terps. But I do see Maryland winning this one pretty nicely at 28-17. And BC, I see them actually getting their first win of the season over Massachusetts, but it's going to be a tight win. I see them winning 27-21. Frank Spaz's team, they just find a way to get things done and hold on for a late victory. Duke and Tulane, I see the Blue Devils actually riding the green wave pretty well in this one, winning 31-14 to get the Duke Blue Devils' second win of the season this year. Miami and K-State. I see this as being a little bit of a letdown game for the Hurricanes. They come off of a very high emotional win last weekend against Ohio State. How do you get yourself up to face a team like K-State? It's going to be really tough for the Hurricanes. I see them winning, but winning in a close game, 24-21. They're actually up by a good 10 points or so going late in the fourth quarter. K-State gets a late drive, gives themselves a little bit of momentum, but the Hurricanes defense quickly shuts them down after that. Virginia and Southern Miss. This one's actually going to be a fairly close contest. Southern Miss is pretty good. Don't underestimate them. But I do see Virginia coming away with this one with a 27-21 victory. Tech going up against Marshall. I don't see this one being a contest at all. I see Virginia Tech pretty handily able to take care of the Thundering Herd, 41-13. And in the big game for the conference this weekend is going to be Florida State and Clemson. The Seminoles travel to Death Valley, where they have not won since 2001. So this is going to be a really big test for them, coming off of such a disappointing loss to the Sooners, where they had the opportunity to win last week, just couldn't put together the right skill sets. Assuming that E.J. Manuel's on the field, the Seminoles have a little bit more maturity and veteran play style on offense. But even if Clint Trick gets in there, watch out for that passing game. Under pressure in the pocket, he's a pretty good passer. He's still having trouble following his blocks right now when he scrambles. So if Clemson can get pressure on Clint, then it's going to be just a sack a minute for the Clemson defense, which is sad because they don't have one of the better defenses in the country. I see Florida State winning this one on defensive prowess and the offense being able to do what they need to do when they need to do it to put points on the board. But I don't see this being a very high-scoring affair. I see it being a very big defensive battle. Florida State's defense will come out on top. The Noles rebound after last week and take a foothold in the conference with a one-game lead over Clemson, winning 27-20. There you have it, folks, our Week 4 ACC predictions. Check us back next week to see how we did, and hope everyone has a great weekend. For freesportspress.com, I'm Mike Crook.